Alright, guys, welcome back. We are watching Owarimonogatari episode 9, I want to say. Pretty sure it's 9. Shinobu Male, part 2. Last time, well, we're finally getting to see the last of Aragi's little, summer adventures, I suppose. Somehow, apparently, the events of this arc are something that he regrets so much and feels so strongly about. Even more so than, like, Hachikuji's disappearance and stuff. That he's waited this long to tell us about it, right? That he delayed it, he postponed it, but it's arrived all the same, I suppose. What could possibly happen that's going to be that terrible? Well, I guess we'll have to see. The first minion's here. The first minion is here. We got a lot of characters in this arc, right? Guy Nezuko, I assume, right? It's Kanbaru's here, Ononoki's here, the first minion, obviously. Episode. Stuff with episode has to happen, right? Like, this has to be from forever ago when episode randomly showed up again. Like, this is it, right? This is why. Because the first minion, a vampire, right? It's, yeah. Um, I don't really want the solution to this to be to, like, kill the first minion with a vampire hunter, though. That seems like that can't be right. Um, Number one thing I need to see, I guess, is, like, Shinobu's thoughts on the current situation and everything. Like, what? I just don't even know. Like, what would it mean for her? You know? Because it's like we know she feels very strongly about all this stuff about the first minion, like, of course. So I'm just very curious how she will react to this news, I guess. And then it's just like, what is going on other than that? Why is Kanbaru here? What does Kanbaru need to be here for from Guy Nezuko? Guy Nezuko knows everything, so she can plan everything out perfectly. So Kanbaru has some purpose of being here, but I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. We gotta deal with this suit of armor running around. So we're watching Shinobu Mail Part 2. You can line your own copy up with this if you want to. We are starting in 3, 2, 1. Ugh. It has burned down. It's crazy that Aragi, yeah, he was here. What does that mean for him, right? Hmm. I True, yeah. Okay, that is not it. That's not it. I promise. She thinks he, like, lit the school on fire in an attempt to Ah, indeed. Right. We don't know anything about her father, right? I guess. What is your work exactly if it's not this? Thank you. Thank you, Ononoki. Ooh. Right, right. Okay. What questions? Scott, I mean, do any of us know what's going on? Not really. The first minion's here. That's about all we know. There's also this tiger I've run around burning stuff down. That it's, like, they don't know anything about that either, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. This opening is weird. Like, what is all of this? It's like they're at I don't even know. Like, all these people in cages. There's something, like, chasing her. I guess, like, the past chasing her. You know, it's like this thing from her ancient, long gone past is back to haunt her after everything that's happened. You know how different she is, how much she's changed with, like, her relationship with Aragi and everything. But yet I guess it's not that easy to, like, brush it all aside and just you know. Hmm. Oh, I love that shot. Indeed. And then it came right back together. Ooh, this music. Okay, about it being the first minion? Yeah, yeah. Oh, God. Oh, the donut. There's still a donut up there? Shinobu left a donut? That's crazy. Oh, God. I probably, I assume. Okay. The one you were just dealing with. What were you just dealing with? Okay. It's like growing in power like very quickly, right? Like energy drain, I guess. Like, because we just saw that, right? What was it? Just like weird energy or something? Hmm. Oh, yeah. But, well, I don't think so. We've got to honor the deal, either way. Yeah. Yeah. And I imagine Guin probably knew that this is where we were headed. Right, right. Oh, interesting. So what is that? Hmm. It's okay. Well, that's of no concern. Um, that seems like it means a lot to Araki, though, right? The idea that he was that close to wanting to break it, you know? Hmm. Because that seems like the thing that like matters to him the most in a way. It's if you say so, I guess. Yeah, it's just like the danger, I assume, right? Yeah, to like help with whatever it is. Hmm. What about her left arm would matter to this situation? Which she did, to be fair, right? Obviously, Cumber didn't really know what she was agreeing to, but ooh, so he still blames himself for it, of course. Hmm. Interesting. Okay. Ooh, as your friend. What? What do you mean? Yeah. You guys are best friends. Come on. Ooh, the point of no return, huh? True. Ooh, yeah, yeah. It's like what Oshino said a whole bunch of times about oddities. Ooh, a part of this story. Right, right. Unavoidably involved. He's already kind of kneeling, but sure. What is that shot? What are we doing? It deserved, I guess. Probably. Like, hello. Ooh. A fresh start in life. Does he think like that? I suppose. Well, I think it's complicated. I think his thoughts about all of that. Oh, balances out to zero. Like Ogi formula. Interesting. You only have one life. You only have the chances you're given. Gotta make the most of them. Interesting. Okay, okay. really worked out to Gaian's advantage, huh? Oh, I gotta read those. I gotta read those. Sure, that is true. Neither, but you would just rather neither of them be here. Ooh, yeah, because Shinobu is in danger as well, right? Okay, okay, sure, sure. And it's like he seems so shocked at himself that he even thought otherwise for a moment, you know? Interesting. Ooh, okay. If you say so. Thank you. It's true. It's that is interesting actually. The relation between Ogi, Haragi, what are you doing? And Kanburo in terms of the niece thing, you know. Ooh, right. Maybe literally. Oh, I love this track so much. They played it during like some of the Sodashi like flashbacks, right? She's this is her dream, right? Come on. It's yeah, no chance you're putting her down. Come on. Right, right. She's like a monkey on a tree, I guess. I'm sure. I'm sure. Uh-huh. Yeah, don't blame you. I mean, I assume energy drain literally. Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. From forever ago. Ben Bake. Interesting. I wonder what that is, you know? She has like this sensitivity to oddities or something? Because of like her family, maybe? Like some weird I don't know. I don't know. Ooh. Right. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I no, that's completely different, obviously. Bargain sale. Ah, can you can you respond in a different way, please? Like, come on. Hmm. Right, right. Ooh. That's like the weird thing on like the sign, right? How there's like the weird lettering stuff. I don't know. I don't know what any of it means, but oh, back to the park. It's right after Hajikuji disappeared and stuff. That just keeps flashing in my head. How this is right after her disappearance. Oh, on the subject of Hajikuji, huh? Are we are we lost yet again? It's really reminded me of like Bake, right when we were lost with Senjugahara. Ooh, yeah, it's like we passed like the same stuff, like that vending machine, you know? Okay, okay, interesting. That makes sense to me thematically that we're lost in Hajikuji's absence, but there got to be more to it than that. Yeah, right, right. Oh. Oh, yeah. He did it was like this weird like order that he gave them, you know? Hmm. Yeah. I guess they have no choice but to go home. Yeah. Interesting. Just gonna drop her. Ooh. Right, right. God, been a while. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Ooh. Which one could it be, huh? Interesting how many of those really are related to the current situation. Other than Nautico, I guess. Hmm. I suppose. Are all five of them? Right. Of course. Of course. It's oh God. I don't say that. She's just still stretching. Hmm. Well, maybe not the most trivial for him. I love what they do with the clouds when she's here. Okay. I sure. Ooh, I gotta save yourself. Right, of course. Oh, so yeah, there we go. Right, sure, yeah. He isn't alone. That is true. Yeah, yeah. Maybe Kombaru can do something here, right? Hmm. She's someone you can rely on. You can rely on anyone. Like, come on, she doesn't have to rely on you forever. Ooh, interesting. Oh, what does Guy Nizuko want with Konbaru? What on earth are you doing? Right. Like, no one on earth could do what she's doing right now, right? Like, what was that? I bet she does. I bet she has one. There we go. There's her monkey powers. Okay. Oh, of course she would know that, right? She can smell it? I guess. Maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe that's how we have to be guided when we're lost, you know? Will Aragi be able to keep up? Ooh. I suppose. Hmm. Oh, we just have to avoid tracks. I guess that makes sense. We just have to walk in a straight line through people's yards and stuff. God, 3 in the morning. Yeah, it's that weird shit with like the letters on the sign, right? I mean, it has been 3 hours. I yeah. I mean, it's more important than that though. Like, there's some reason we're here, obviously. Maybe. Hard for me to imagine, but maybe. Right. Uh huh. Uh huh. Okay. Sure. Like, Conbrew, we gotta tone it down a little bit. She is very excited, very passionate about her job. He doesn't even take a single step. Ooh, what? Okay. Oh, hi, Shinobu. She's just sleeping, and okay, I guess. Is she okay? Oh, okay. Hey, we're good. All right. It's yeah, I guess. Okay. Oh God, she's stupid. Conbrew, calm down. Stay on the other side of those bars, please. Ooh, there have been some issues, huh? Right. Okay. So, shut up. So, these the oddities the guy mentioned are in some way like okay around doing stuff. You have to deal with the monkey. Ooh, interesting. Hmm. I have some crazy ideas about this. The cat. Hanakawa? Black Hanakawa? Because that's around this time, right? Oh. Ah, she knows about Hajikuchi. Hmm. Guy Nizuko, I'm sure. Yeah, she was here. Oh, or Ononoki. Okay. I guess. That's already been spread. I, that's not any better. Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's really oh god. It's just still been there the whole time. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Of course. What do you say about it? I don't know. I true. Ononoki and Shinobu do have a rivalry. Ooh, I see. Yeah, like what on earth is going on, right? Like the first minions here, all of these things from the past are here, right? Like, okay. In our terrible battle. Why is that surprising? Like, come on. Right, right. Okay. How is there a monkey if Cumber is right here, though? Like, what is happening? Oh, sure. Right. Yeah, Ononoki would have told her about that, too. Hmm. What is Converu doing? Oh, by Guy Nizuka? Okay. Hmm. That is kind of a like she just falls asleep in the middle of this park. And it was comfortable. Come on. Oh, okay. Sure. Ooh. Hasn't it always? What? A crab. Crab. Right. Duh. I guess that's gotta come back too. Yeah. Okay, so we have to fight the crab monkey. Man, what is happening? Man, what is going on? Um, it's very fitting with like the themes in my mind, or at least these things are related to me in a way, right? Like all these things from like Aragi's past, right? All these regrets, I guess you can say he has about all of those oddities from back in Bake and all that stuff, right? The kind of the foundation of these relationships he has with all these people. And for Shinobu, it's the first minion, right? He's back as well. But like literally what is going on though, right? Like what's like why and how? Interesting. This does feel like a very final kind of story, huh? Just like the premise, I guess, this whole idea that these oddities from the past are returning to haunt us. Interesting. And there are a lot of moments with Aragi in this episode that like I think are very interesting. Because again, all of this is right before Ogi appears, right? So all of this, his mentality and however his mental and emotional state is, like throughout this arc and after it and all of that, it has to be very meaningful towards like the creation of Ogi and stuff, right? Like, because one part of it is Hajikuji's disappearance for sure, but whatever else happens in this arc is also very important for that. So okay, we'll talk about the episode in the discussion. Okay, let's talk about the episode. What the hell is going on? Like, what is happening? Um, I all these oddities are coming back. We got Crab Monkey Guy here. What is possibly going on? Right? In universe, the explanation for this, I have literally no idea what it could possibly be. Right? Thematically, I feel like I'm understanding what we're doing here. Right? It really feels like this arc is about it's like things coming back from the past to haunt you. Right? Like Shinobu's unresolved stuff with the first minion, which I'm just not sure. It's like Araragi wasn't sure, I guess, if Ononoki told her about the armor or not, right? About the first minion. Um, how will she feel about that when she learns about it, you know? The opening has like, it shows her like being chased, right? It's like these things in her past that maybe you can imagine she's like running away from even, you know. Yeah, there's just this giant creepy ghost thing behind. I guess it's like the set of armor. It kind of has that, but it's also like a skeleton, you know. I'm just like chasing her, you know. It's like the first mini. It's like the unresolved stuff in her past, I suppose, right? Stuff you could say she's ran away from in a sense, you know. I just wonder how she's gonna feel about that, you know. I guess based off the opening, I feel like she's going to try and run away from it, right? That it's gonna be she's not going to want to address it. And hey, all of this, as I'm saying all of this is kind of a reason why Converu is here in this arc, isn't it? Right? Converu's entire thing and Hana was all about running away from your problems, being scared of like trusting yourself and making decisions and all of that, you know. That was what Hana was like all about, you know. And if Shinobu and maybe Aragi are going to be facing similar things in a way, then yeah, that makes sense. It feels like I guess to my take on it right now, I guess, like if I'm just imagining how Shinobu would react to this is she had so many like unresolved things with the first minion. They parted in like not a good way, right? It was very unhappy and terrible. And it's like it was a large part of what left her with this horrible like attitude and everything about her life and everything that she had like in Kizu, you know, it felt like so much of the reason why she wanted to die in the first place was for him basically to make up for it, you know. All that stuff, you know. Now everything is so different, right? She's here, she has Araragi, she has this relationship with him that has changed her so much. She seems like such a different person than she was back in Kizu, back when she was kiss shot with the first minion and all of that stuff, you know. Um that I feel like she's going to wants to just push it away and try and not deal with it. You know what I mean? Like it feels like something that she could so easily feel like she's moved on so far from that there's no reason, there's no need for her to address it now. Um I think some of the stuff Ononoki said in this episode too is interesting in application to that because it's like I don't know. I don't think that's a good thing to do, right? I think it is just like as this opening shows, it is this thing that's like chasing her, this lingering regrets, unresolved things that she has that she feels like she's like trying to leave behind, but she can't because she's not really addressing them, you know. And I guess that's what the first minion is in a way, right? But like, oh god, but what is that gonna mean? right? So what is she gonna want to do? Is she gonna want to just like kill the first minion and just try and have him be eliminated and that's it, and it'll just be, be over and done with? What do I want to happen between them? I just have no idea. I mean, it seems like the first minion I just wants to kill her. Right, based off our assumption, I guess, of his feelings and everything, the way she told the story. And to be fair, it was her telling it. And she prefaced telling us that story back in Shinobi time with saying like, "Oh, I don't get jealous" or whatever, talking to Araki, right? So you can imagine that in a way, especially considering the way she feels about it, so many hundreds of years later, and the way she might have minimized some stuff about it, right? Like the connection between them, that's the kind of thing. That's what she told Araki not get jealous about, but then in the story that didn't really come up, so it's clear that they were closer than that story might make you think, just based off that warning she gave Araki in the first place. Obviously, it seems like the first minion, based off what he said in the last episode, just wants to like kill her, right? Like he said, I get ready to pay the late fee for my sword or whatever, right? So I don't think he's happy. He's not too happy at all. Not too happy about being left behind, about being co-signed to the past and all of that. He is here. He is back to haunt us now. Can we come to terms with that? Well, yeah, I think so. You can always come to terms with the past, and in some way, I do the opposite of what Kaiki said in Nisei, right? And I think you can overcome the past and come to terms with it and all of that, right? Like for sure. Man, and that's just more stuff too that makes me think about Kanbaru, all the Gantouei stuff, all of that. Oh, I'm so excited for this arc actually. There's so many like parts of this arc now that I can really see what we could do with them and how that could be very interesting. Oh, I'm hype. I am hype. Um yeah, I don't know. I'll just have to see. I'll just have to see how Shinobu reacts to it and everything. As for Aragi, I mean, it's like we've talked about it so many times, right? Like in Ski Monogatari, that was like kind of the whole thing in a way. He said so much stuff about it, about feeling like he had all these unpaid tabs, all these things that he's left behind, that he's never dealt with, that he hasn't either been punished for or paid for or something like that, right? These incorrect decisions, wrong things he's done, putting himself in debt in a way to other people and just like to the world and unresolved stuff in that sense. And it's like we know his relationship with every character. There's ways he can like twist all of them, right? In a sense, he can view his relationship with basically every character in the story in like a negative way if he wants to, and we know that's kind of what he does, right? So the crab, the snail, the monkey, the snake, and the cat coming back to haunt him in this arc. It's very interesting, right? Because like yeah, like Senjugahara, the crab, you can definitely think of reasons why he has like weird feelings about their relationship, no matter how good it is and how nice it is to see them together and stuff, how much of a positive impact it's had on Araki. I don't think that changes like the fundamental like foundation of it for him, which was always he just has this sneaking feeling that like he's not, that he for one that he probably feels like he doesn't like deserve it and that he doesn't as all of those feelings that kind of come with having low self-esteem and stuff, but also just like the start of their relationship, how he felt like Sindra only wanted to be his girlfriend because I did stuff for her and all of that, which like he doesn't that's not how he views it. Hachikuji, I mean, not really, but then Hachikuji was destroyed by the darkness, so it was fundamentally wrong the entire time, apparently. Right, that's how Araki could take it. Kanbaru, all the Senjukahara stuff. Nadeko, it's interesting because Nadeko, right now at least, is not part of this story at all, right? It's interesting how all of these other characters are, in some sense, right? I mean, I guess Senjukahara wasn't until the end, the crab showed up. But yeah, Hachikuji very much so. Kanbaru's here, Hanakawa stuff is going on in the background, right, with the tiger and Black Hanakawa and all of this. But Nadeko, obviously, there's like weird stuff he feels about Nadeko as well, about like just everything between them, especially after Nadeko Medusa and everything, and then Hanakawa, like for sure. So there's just this giant, big group of stuff that you can imagine Aragi regrets and has these feelings about. That's all just coming back to haunt him at once. It's, it's at the same time it's so weird because this arc is so long ago. This is in August. So it's like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to feel about it. I don't know where this is going to leave us off. I'm worried. I'm really worried that this is going to be like a negative outcome for Aragi. I guess, of course, I feel like that because when he was explaining the story to Ogi at the start, right? It's like it's clear that this is one. This whole story, this whole arc is something that he regrets deeply and feels horrible about. So, what is the actual message he's going to get from all of this? Whatever it is, it's going to lead to Ogi's creation like tomorrow, right? So, or at least very shortly afterwards at some point, right? So I don't know. I am concerned, I guess. I'm very concerned. Also, there's obviously like the interplay too between the first minion being here and the fact that Araragi is now the one with Shinobu and all of that, right? How for Shinobu it's like this past unpaid tab, to like use the words that Araragi would use. And it's Araragi that's like in the way, it's Araragi that is the one who has taken that place, And it's like if he thinks that you always have to like address the past in that way, you always have to pay for it, you always have to, you're indebted in a sense to the past, basically. Um, then how will we resolve this in a way where Aragi can remain, with that principle in mind? I don't really think we can, because we know Aragi and Shinobu are going to be bound together again. Obviously, the first minion isn't gonna get what he wants. Shinobu's not gonna pay for it, whatever the first minion wants to do to her. So, yeah, I'm so excited. I'm just really excited to see where we go. I guess I'm very and I totally Kanbaru being here makes a lot more sense to me now. Just the whole idea of the arc being about, like, for Shinobu and for Aragi too, maybe like running away from their problems too, running away from the past, running away from all that stuff. That's something that Kanbaru, yeah, that's very much a core, like the core thing about Kanbaru's character. So what purpose other than that? There's this weird stuff with Guy Nezuko wanting her left arm, wanting the monkey arm, right? What could that have to do with the situation? I don't know. I guess I just assumed that because Guy Nezuko knows everything, that she just has this unintelligible, crazy web of plans and stuff that I am gonna have no possible way of knowing anything about until I see the conclusion to it all. So, it's who knows, right? Like, maybe she wanted Combo here just so she could fend off the first minion for a little bit, so Aragi didn't die. I have no idea, right? Who knows? Who knows? What could the monkey arm have to do with all of this? I mean, the monkey arm in and of itself represents this regret over your decisions and your choices, and this fear of who you are inside, and all of these things that I think are relevant to Aragi and Shinobu in this arc now. But like, that's just Kanbaru as a character. What are we actually gonna do with that in the arc? I don't know. I don't know. We'll just have to see. We'll just have to see, right? Because Kanbaru is someone who has been living with and will continue to live with all the way until Hana, that lingering regret and that lingering, just like, just all the horrible feelings that made Hana so deeply sad and all of that. So, hmm, how how are we gonna do this? I feel like I can see the potential conflict between Shinobu and the first minion in my mind more clearly than whatever the hell is going on with this weird oddity stuff in Aragi. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. The cram school has burned down. The tree still stands strong, which I guess so. We've talked about the tree a lot. How the tree is Araragi, right? Obviously, it's like part of his name. That's him. I do think it's interesting, the cram school burning down, but the tree still standing strong in the middle of it. Yeah, I guess it shows in a way to me. It's like Araragi, maybe not like outgrowing all the stuff that the cram school meant for him, but it's almost like Aragi doesn't need it anymore. Maybe. It feels like being able to go to Oshino all the time, which the cram school is kind of representative of, was like almost like a crutch in a way. It's like that's just kind of the idea of the tree still standing despite the school burning down. That's kind of what it gives me the vibe of, what it gives me the idea of. Hmm. I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting. Like, what does Aragi think about it? What does he, when he looks at the cram school, he sees it's burned down? What does he think? What's going through his head? That it will truly never return. That there's no way to go back to the past. Obviously, right? That even if Oshino comes back someday, he sees him again. Whatever that would mean for Aragi, the cram school's gone. It will never be like it was before. That era, the cram school existing, and all the things that have happened there, all the way back to Kizu, it's gone. It's done. It's like I imagine that's what's like running through Aragi's mind in a way, right? Like that idea, that realization, I suppose. Oh, yeah, yeah. It really does feel like it feels very emotionally powerful. Ononoki's here. I love Ononoki so much. I love the colors in this scene. They're so like drab and just dark and depressing, like grayscale, right? You know? It's very maybe very fitting for the current situation, huh? We got all these fires. We gotta put all these out. Like Jesus. And Ononoki thinks he's committing a murder suicide. That's not happening. I promise, right? They bring up like Hachikuji's disappearance so many times, just over and over again. They're like rubbing it in, you know how this like again. This is literally a day after Hachikuji disappeared, right? Like that just happened, you know. That's like crazy, you know, like just the whirlwind that has to be going on in Aragi's mind. I just can't even imagine, you know, like oh God, it's like I guess just no wonder whatever happens in this arc and all of these days, these first few or these last few days of August, right? It's like August 21st is kind of the start of all of this. Um, are such a significant like thing for change within Araragi. You know what I mean? It's just such a like yeah, no kidding that this really was like worse than Spring Break. You know? Like that's what Hanakawa said. Araragi told her about all of this, right? Like in like the last arc, right? Yeah, no, I see it now. I get it, I guess, right? Just the loss of Hachikuji and everything, you know? And I guess talk about Spring Break for a second, because I was going to say this earlier. It does feel like in some way, whatever's going to happen here in this arc, if we're talking about regrets of the past and things from the past coming back to haunt you, well, one of Araragi's biggest ones was, you know, the Indakizu and all of that. And like, yes, it felt like in Nisei, when him and Shinobu kind of reconciled and everything, that like you know, that was kind of addressed in a way, but like not really. Araragi obviously has lingering feelings about all of that. That's a way, just like every other character, he can kind of corrupt and twist his relationship with Shinobu into something that he has like bad feelings about, right? It's just everything that happened in Kizu and his decision at the end and stuff. I wonder if this arc, because the first minion's here, you know, all these actors are back from back then, you know, back in Kizu, if we're gonna address all of that somehow, if Araragi's feelings about all of that will in some way, I guess not be resolved, not be, you know, I don't know if that's possible, but he'll think about it. He'll have some kind of, you know, some kind of closure about everything that happened then, you know? Like, because Shinobu's with Araragi now, and she's clearly so much happier, and everything is so much better than it was for her when she was kiss shot. Is that enough for him though? If this arc somehow leads to that, to him understanding that Shinobu wants to be with him, you know, and it's like the first minion being back and all of that, these ghosts from the past coming back to haunt her. Um, that she still wants to be with Araragi no matter what. Like, of course, obviously, right? What would that mean to Araragi, right? Will that be something addressed in the arc? I don't know. It would make sense to me if it was. So we talk a lot about Combrew, this connection to Gaian, all of this. The Gaian family has got to be weird, right? We know it is. We know Combrew's mother, Gantoe, has weird oddity connection stuff, you know. She had the Rainy Devil in the first place, right? She's the one who had it. Um, the there's all the weird this stuff, the Kaiki, right? Obviously, she's connected to like specialists and all this in the first place, obviously, right? Her sister, Gai Nizuko, is crazy. Like, what the hell is she, right? I still think Gai Nizuko herself is like, I don't know. She feels like an oddity to me in just the way that she like is, you know, like representing like a specific thing, representing the ultimate authority and representing like knowledge and that kind of idea. Obviously, you know, we're oddity truthers around here. I think oddities are people, just like everyone else, really. So I don't know what that would really mean if she is, but you know, there's all this weird oddity stuff related to that idea, to the name Gaian, I guess, that the family, right? Kombaru has had these weird moments where it's like, yeah, back in Bake, and she got it again in this episode with like this weird reaction she has to like I guess like oddity energy stuff or something, right? She has like some kind of sensitivity to it or something like that, right? What does that mean, you know? I don't know. I don't know. What could any of it mean? It's who knows, I guess. That's like the biggest mystery in the story to me. The biggest stuff I want to know more about is just stuff about Gantoe and I guess just the past of all the specialists and like all of that, you know. Um yeah, everything from back then. You know, them building Ononoki, all of that stuff. You know, that's what I want to know about so badly. I want to know Gaintoe's death. That's what I really want to know. Did she really just die in a car accident? Because that is what Kaiki always says. Kaiki says that about everything. That's his go-to thing, right? Senjugahara, the guy that like assaulted her, he died in a car accident. It's Araragi and Senjugahara, that was his excuse for Nadeko. They died in a traffic accident. And he just says that about Gantoe, too. Did she really die in a traffic accident? Or is that something that he just tells himself to assign some kind of mundane death to her, you know? Or is that really what happened to her? And God, I don't know. I don't know. It's maybe we'll get there someday. It's who knows? Who knows? It doesn't feel like we could possibly get there anytime soon, right? Like it really feels like we are in the we're obviously in like the end game for Aragi in terms of it's like he said at the beginning of this like season, right? And Monogatari, it's the beginning and end of Aragi Kiyomi. It feels like that's the broad theme of all of this, all the Ogi stuff and everything. So I don't think we're going into the past to learn a bunch of backstory stuff for a while, unfortunately. But who knows? Who knows? Ononoki was busy with her work, of course. It's her work, which is apparently just the stuff with the first minion, right? She says that she was like following it, chasing it, and it's getting stronger very quickly, apparently, right? Like so we saw that in the last episode when with energy drain, how fast it like got, he, I guess, got stronger, the first minion, right? So yeah. I'm in your debt for a lot of things, but I promise I'll repay you. Such a God, his attitude, it's like Ononoki calls herself his friend, right? Which, like, I agree. They are friends, obviously, of course. Aragi just doesn't understand how hurtful that is to hear, right? From someone that you consider a friend, someone who you're supposed to have a relationship with, like that. That it's like they feel the need, they have to pay you back for everything you ever do for them. Like, that is it's such a sad thing that he does to himself, and it's a sad thing he does to the people around him. Like it feels like you can't really get close to someone and really have a connection with someone if that's how they feel about everything you ever do for them. That they always have to pay it back, right? But that's what Aragi's always so worried about. And I think for Aragi it comes from like a place of he doesn't mean anything bad by it, right? Yeah. What is going on? I mean, good question, Ononoki. That so far that is like that's the theme of the arc to me is what the hell is going on. Like I don't know. It could be anything. An armored warrior, indeed, used energy drain. Apparently, so he didn't tell her everything. What did he leave out exactly? Just the final words of the warrior. There's unlikely occidental words. Do I know what that means? Am I crazy? Occidental? What? Huh? What does this mean? A member of one of the Occidental peoples. What? It's okay. We're ignoring that. Like Merriam-Webster says it's of relating to or situated in the Occident. Of or relating to Occidentals. What? So what the hell does that? Okay, I'm moving on. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna ignore that. He called her by the name even I do not use, right? Which like betrays this familiarity, right, between them. Obviously. Yeah. I didn't Shinobu say that like in Kizu too? That like there's only been one person who's called her that before, and it was like right before he died, right before he threw himself into the sun. Yeah. Hmm. Entirely different being than the one I was just dealing with. Yeah, so it's getting strong very quickly. Kind of scary. Hmm. So Araragi, okay, this is like an important moment for him. I think this is very interesting. He wants to get Kambru out of here, right? He wants to basically, just let her go home. Let her not be involved in this whole situation, right? Which of course, that's like Aragi's thing. Obviously, he always does that in terms of like not wanting people to get involved in what he sees as his problems and all of that, right? He wants to be the one to like take all of it. Um, but the interesting part of all of this is how, like, what Ononoki says is that's basically a betrayal of his promise to Guy Nizuko. And it feels like with like the shots we get right after that, like we zoom in on Aragi's eyes, and it's like he takes these words so seriously, right? Um, it's like this betrayal of Guy Nizuko and all of this, you know. It means a lot to him. The fact that I guess he even considered doing that, right? The fact that he even considered for a moment that he would give up on this promise, on in a sense, like that indebtedness that is so important to him. Like for what though, right? I guess it's not really for anything specifically, like for Conbrew kinda, but I guess it's just the idea that he even considered that. It's like, what does that mean to him, you know? Like, because that's like kind of a fundamental, like the fundamental thing of his character in a way, is that way that he views relationships in terms of this whole indebtedness thing, right? So him, like, I guess subconsciously not even realizing that he wasn't viewing the situation through that lens, uh, and then like being snapped back into like reality, I guess, in his mind by Ononoki here. That's really interesting. Like, what does that make him think about himself and everything? You know, to me, I guess that just betrays the way that he is like changing in a sense, and the way that the way he views things just by default and stuff is changing over time. That if he wants to view the world in that way, if he wants to continue to think of everything in terms of this indebtedness and everything, it's like he has to force himself to do that, you know? Yeah, I don't know. Very interesting. It's right. Ononoki, like what are we talking about? Like, come on. I'm a corpse, showing interest in living flesh is normal. I I guess you aren't a zombie, though. So I suppose. Why are you breaking your promise to Gun-san? It's not that I feel reluctant to introduce her to Conbrew. Obviously, it's like he decides not to in the end, right? He decides not to break his promise in the end. And I think that's good. I think it's good that he decides not to. And that he decides, because in a sense, like him keeping Conbrew involved in this, that like trust he has to have in her, which like we have another moment later in the episode like that too, in terms of him having to like rely on her instead of viewing her as just the underclassman who relies on him. I think that's important and that's meaningful for him. That's something he has to be able to learn how to do, right? Of course. So I think it's good that he doesn't break the promise, you know. I don't think that means he has to be viewing it in like that framework of like indebtedness and stuff in order to not break it, obviously, right? Um yeah. I just think it's a complicated thing, I guess. Hmm. Yeah, Conver's left hand, her left arm was important. Important in what way, I wonder? Hmm. Yeah, it's obviously Conbrew didn't refuse that. I'm sure Guyanese knew that too, right? Of course. Now I've exposed Conbrew to great danger. I accept, like, I guess you just have to be able to trust people. You have to be able to trust people with that, though. You know, it's like, what if she wants to be, right? What if she's your friend and she cares about you and she wants to be exposed to the great danger if it will help you, you know? Like, it's come on, right? As a responsible senpai, I should have turned Guyan down. But that is such a, you know, that's such an interesting thing for his mind to go to, because then it's like, obviously he can't break the promise now that he's made it, but he thinks that he should have turned it down, but then at what cost, right? Hajikuji would just get obliterated by the darkness. Whatever that means, right? Like, it's like the idea is she passed on peacefully somehow. She let herself disappear or whatever, right? Rather than the darkness come destroy her. What actually is the difference there? I don't know exactly, right? Doesn't sound good, and I don't want Araragi to have made that decision, you know, because in a sense, it's like what he did there, making this promise, was for himself in a way, right? For himself and Hajikuchi, something that was very important to him. So that's why he's thinking, oh, that's less important than all of this, than me putting Conbrew in danger and everything. But like I disagree, right? Like, come on, you can do stuff for yourself, right? Which I feel like is kind of a lot of the point of what Ononoki says in a second. I think some of her words are very meaningful. You shouldn't think like that. I don't recommend it. That's my warning as your friend. Yeah. We're long past the point of no return. The point of no return is an interesting concept, right? Because it's kind of always a point of no return, right? It always happens. You know, the past is always the past. You can never literally go back to it, right? Aragi views points of no return much more literally in terms of the ideas of like the branching paths of all the decisions you make, wanting to be right, wanting to not be on the wrong side of all of that, Um, it's like he views every choice he makes as a point of no return in that sense. Hmm. And yeah, I know girls are bringing this up, right? This thing that Ocean has talked about a whole bunch, about that idea of once you've like talked to oddities or been related to oddities in any way, been involved with oddities in any sense. You get much more, you get attracted to them and they get attracted to you. You're just kind of part of it now. Yeah, yeah. Tombro Suruga is now a part of this story. Right, right. So that's very meta in a way too, huh? Anyway, it's Aragi kneels and he gets what he deserves. He gets kicked in the face by Ononoki. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? But ignoring that, we have she says some very important things, I think. Don't think we can go back to normal. Think of what happened with Hajikuji Maioi, which, like, I'm sure has not left his head for a moment, right? Not for a moment. Um, but okay, let's think about that, right? Don't think we can go back to normal. Think of what happened with Hajikuji Maioi. Is that what Hajikuji was thinking? Was she thinking that things could just remain normal forever, right? That she could, that she could cheat the system in a way and just stay with Araragi? I mean, it feels so unfair that she couldn't, right? It feels so ridiculously unfair that she couldn't have that, and I don't think in any way it's wrong that she wanted it. Obviously, she recognized when it was over, and when it was, when she just had to leave, when it was time, it's time to move on in a sense. Um, which is such an important thing for Aragi, right? That's like Aragi learning how to move on from things. That is a lesson that he like gravely needs to learn in terms of his mistakes, decisions he's made in the past, his being a high schooler, being young, all of that, which Hajikuji in a way kind of was very much linked to in a sense, right? So her moving on, her disappearing and stuff, I think means a lot in that way too. Um, yeah, and I guess that's just another thing that this arc is kind of about, isn't it? All these things from the past coming back, things that perhaps these characters like Shinobu and Araragi, they haven't really properly moved on from in a way, right? Like they're things that have remained like, bumping around in their head for all this time, right? Yeah, yeah. You lack resolve. You think you can always have a fresh start in life, right? Does he think that? Right? Does he think he can always have a fresh start in life, right? Because I guess there's kind of two ways you can take this, right? Is like Araragi is so tormented by his past and by the decisions that he always makes and like what path he's on in life and all of that, right? So in a sense, it's like, does he think he can have a fresh start? Well, maybe not, if that's how he feels. But if you think about the way that he views like life and decisions and all of that, his whole idea of splitting life and everything that you do onto the right side and the wrong side, right? I think he absolutely does think that at any moment, no matter what decisions he's made, if he makes the correct choices, right? This idea of the correct choices that he can make, that I just don't know if that exists or not, really. Then he can now be on the right side, right? He does think of it in that way, right? Which in a sense would kind of be like a fresh start, I suppose, right? That this idea that if you just start making all of the correct choices, that nebulous idea, right? Um, then it'll just be great and your past mistakes, your past things don't matter as much anymore, right? They won't bother you because now you're making the correct decisions. I don't really think that's how it works either, right? I think it's kind of what she says, right? It's like you have one life, right? All the choices you make matter, right? Whether they're in the past or in the future, right? Obviously, there's nothing you can do to go into the past and change them, of course, right? But you do have to reconcile with the past and understand it and come to some kind of like level of understanding with it and stuff, like you can't just remain tormented by it forever and be like stuck in the past like someone like Kaiki feels like he is in a way, right? But you can't be like Araragi either and just torment yourself forever about every decision you're making on a day-to-day basis because you think that shifts you between the right path or the wrong path. Like, yeah. And it's an interesting thing for Ononoki to be saying, I guess, because it's like we know she has like these existential ideas, these existential worries about like herself and her existence and everything. Like the conversation they had in Kabuki about like her wondering why she's alive. Why does she exist? Like what is the purpose behind all of it and all of this? it feels very important because it's like that's something she has to grapple with. That idea, this thing that she thinks like defines her life, the reason why she exists in the first place. That's something that she can't just have a fresh start from that in a way, right? Like that is something that does like matter to her and will, and has affected the trajectory of her life and always will in a sense. What she is and how she was created and everything like that. Hmm. You think it's never too late for something, right? You think you can always rebound, even if you fail, right? But yeah, you can. I want to say that you can, right? I want to say it's never too late. I absolutely do think it's never too late, and that there's never a point where you should give up. Um, hmm. Life always balances out to zero at the end. That's like a callback to the start of Ogi formula with Euler's identity and like what Ogi said about that, right? The result being zero means we shouldn't bother with it. Very interesting. Well, at the end of life, there's zero left, right? And I guess the idea I get from that, right? The idea that at the end of life, there's zero left is like, once you're at the end of your life, there's no more decisions to make. There are a finite number of choices you get to make in life, right? There is a time when all you will have anymore is the past, right? And you have to be able to live with all of the choices and decisions you've made in your life, right? Um, which yeah, I think is it's such an important thing for Araki, I think, with the way that he views like all of that and stuff. Like yeah, especially right now because it's so different for him right now because he's nowhere near the end of his life, right? He's just starting it. Basically graduating high school for him is the beginning of your life in a lot of ways, right? That's when the tree of choices really opens up. The branching options that you can pursue. Yeah, eventually you'll reach the end, right? And you don't want to reach the end with Aragi's idea of all of these unpaid tabs, all of these things that he feels like he never did or should have done or didn't pay back for all of that. And I guess a lot of it's just the way you have to come to terms with your choices and stuff, right? Anyway, he gets a footprint on his face now, which is apparently here the whole time, even when they were wandering around town and stuff. So at 3 a.m., Aragi was walking around the people's like backyards and stuff with a footprint on his face. That's good. That's good. That is really good. If you really treasure that girl, Devil Boy, you will not irresponsibly send her home, but instead take her to Gansan. Have Gansan protect her. I guess. It always works out for Guy Nizuko, doesn't it? It always does. It's pretty convenient, huh? But I guess, I mean, she's very good at planning, right? She knows everything. It'd be hard not to, I suppose. Sending Kabaru home might be far more irresponsible. Here we go. Here are some text flashes. There's some more later, I think. I didn't seek the freedom to ruin my entire life by breaking a promise I made to Guyan. Even without that, I want to keep my promise. I should keep it. Hmm. That is interesting. Freedom to ruin my entire life by breaking a promise I made to Guyan. Huh. Okay. He has resolve. There we go. Obviously, I didn't want to involve Conbrew with such a dangerous suit of armor. Well, sure. Come on. He entrusted me with a message to my master. Yeah, right? We got a message to deliver, huh? Which I guess is why Ononoki isn't the one who delivers it. Yeah. Oh god. I can't ignore it. He sure can't. He sure can't. Which I think that's just that idea of the first minion having returned means a lot. I'm so excited to see how they react to it. Golly, how bothersome friends can be. That's what friends are for. Friends exist to bother you. Hmm. Going on fool's errands is her specialty. And stepping on his face, obviously. Of course. And also, we have this weird moment here, which I just think is interesting, where we call Conbrew like the niece, right, of Ganizuko. It is interesting that Conbrew is the niece of Ganizuko. Ogi is the niece of Oshino, right? It's interesting they have that connection in that way. I don't really know what to make of that. I don't really know if that means anything. Conbrew is the one who introduced Ogi to Araragi just a few episodes ago. So that is interesting. What does it mean to be a niece? I don't know, but I'll keep that in mind, I guess. I mean, I feel like I should have something to say about it, but I guess I don't really know. I guess I'm not really sure what to say. Hmm. I don't know. I don't know. Enjoying emotional moments in front of burned out ruins is alright too. I guess. I guess. The police and firefighters are gonna show up, sure. Arai's gonna walk around carrying Kanbaru on his back. It's a dream come true for her. She's been waiting for this all her life. And it's just like it reminded me of the Hachikuji like wandering around stuff before we even like saw that that's really what's going on, you know. And again, this is right after Hachikuji disappeared, right? Just think how much of a God, I just don't even know. Like, how does Aragi feel about all that? You know, just like what's happening right now and stuff. Oh man, Kambru holds on to him for dear life, of course. So we wander around. I think Aragi, tells her some stuff about the situation. Yeah, this is where she brings up that idea about the weird feeling she had back in Bake, right? When they got to the shrine. It's like that weird, we know there's a bunch of weird dark energy stuff on the shrine, right? And she like reacted to that. She had like this negative reaction to it, right? But like what is that? Why is she having it now? I mean, I guess they're being affected by something like that now too, and back then in a way. I don't know. I don't know. Hmm. No need to apologize. I literally, right? No, like, this is actually so real. She says this such a silly way, but it's actually so real about how, like, of course she doesn't want to hear endless apologies from Araki. Like, come on, right? Like, that's actually so real, right? Like, that's not what a friend is for. That's not what your slave is for, Araki. Come on. Bargain sale ahead. That also reminds me of Hachikuji with the love for it. How much was it? Like 298 yen, right? Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna go to the park. We have this weird thing with the park, right? Like the weird thing with like the way it's pronounced, I guess, with like the kanji and katakana stuff on the sign. Like I don't know what it means, but it's been on the sign for like forever. Rohaku or Nameshiro. It's I don't know. What does any of that mean? I have no idea. Couldn't tell you. And of course, Kambaru would know, right? If it's close to Shinjukuhara, huh? We're going completely the wrong way. We got a bunch of shots that are so like isn't this like straight from Bake? I swear to God, like this area, this place is like straight from Bake, way back in Mayori Snail. I mean, it's like one of the first episodes of the show, right? When we were lost with Hajikuji and Shinjukuhara wandering around. Yeah. Uh yeah, the vending machines, right? He bought her well no, he gave her money, right? He gave Hachikuchi money like right here by the vending machines, right? Yeah, yeah. Good times, good times. No turning back. So it's interesting, right? We're lost now. Hachikuji, the lost cow, just disappeared. And yet it's in her absence. It's without Hachikuji being here that we're like truly lost. Like makes sense to me, yeah. Like for Aragi, Hajikuji was never something that made him be lost. Was someone who did guide him and all of that. Yeah, it's oh god, it's so sad just thinking about Hajikuji's disappearance. That whole scene, like I don't even want to think about it. And apparently he told Kanbaru about it. When did they ever talk about Hajikuji? I don't even remember, right? Obviously he's just gone over to her house and hung out a bunch. So I don't know. They've talked about it, I guess. Yeah, there you go, right? The same place. Yeah. Oh god, it's so nostalgic, you know? The lost cow is gone. That's interesting how he says that. How he says the lost cow is gone rather than saying Hajikuji is gone? That's a very it's like he's distancing himself from it almost, trying to make it less personal. So yeah, so the first minion. Okay, so I guess that's the other idea, right? Is that the first minion that this all connects to the first minion. All this stuff with the oddities of Aragi's past showing up again. It's in some way connected to the first minion because he gave them this weird order. It felt like, right? You will go home without detours. Like that's why they're lost now. I guess that somehow the first minion is the one controlling all of this. But like how? But like what? Like what does that mean? Like I I don't know. Why would the first minion have that ability? What would that mean? Hmm. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, why get them lost? Why even do any of this? Like what is we're in the web of a guy needs to go plan. Like it's impossible to know, I guess, right? Like that's what it feels like. That is what it feels like. Kemper has to stretch for the next 30 minutes. And Aragi calls Guy and Izuko, of course. And she knows what's going on. The crab, snail, monkey, snake, cat. Yeah, could be any of them. We're being affected by the snail, of course. Hmm. The snail, the lost cow, indeed. Only the snail will give you enough time to call for help. I guess. So what does that mean with what we're faced at by the end of the episode, huh? With the weird monkey crab thing. I don't know. I don't know. That's actually interesting, isn't it? I just realized it's like the crab is Senjugahara, the monkey is Kanbaru. We know there's this lingering weird feeling that Aragi has about the way that all ended up at the end of Suruga Monkey between Senjugahara and Kanbaru, right? And like the feelings he had about all of that. So it's interesting that this form of both of them like combined shows up. You know what I mean? Very interesting. I don't know. I don't know what to really say about that, but that is interesting because that feels like it could very much be representative, like literally, of some of his regrets. Yeah, yeah. Huh. Anyway, she's at the park, apparently. Is she even at the park? Like, we get this cloud up there, but we just have, like, extreme close-ups of her. So was she ever at the park, or is she just luring us there for fun? I don't know. I don't know. Let us heed Mime's philosophy and save ourselves alone. Right. But not alone. He's got to rely on Conbrew. Got to learn to rely on other people, right? That's very, very important. And Guy Nizuko, it's like Guy Nizuko wants to test Kanbaru almost, like see what she's capable of, I suppose. And she does a good job of it right away. What the hell is this? How does she possibly, like, what is that? Um, it's very interesting because Kanbaru passes the test with flying colors, right? She knows just what to do right away. She climbs a tree, and she knows what to do. We just got to stray off the path, right? Which, in and of itself, that's a very interesting idea, isn't it? Right? We've talked about paths and roads so much. We've talked those to death ever since Monogatari. So Converse saying like, yeah, we just gotta not be on the path at all. That's I don't know. That's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. What we have to do is avoid tracks. Right. Right. So we made it to the park. Yeah, it's this weird because this is like kanji, right? This is like katakana. So I assume one of these is for. I have no idea. It's couldn't tell you. I don't know. I don't know. I assume one of these says Namashiro and one of these says Rohaku, right? With how long this bottom one is, I assume this is the katakana for Namashiro, right? I think maybe. I don't know. I don't know. There's something weird about it. That's for sure. So we're here. We got to search the park. I immediately Converu really takes the initiative, right? He learns he can't rely on her, right? Like, come on, before he even takes a single step. And we meet up with Shinobu. Is she even in this shot? Is that her? I guess that's her. It's like I literally can barely see. And she's so dark. Yeah, I guess that's her. It's just so dark. I like can't see her at all. Like Jesus, why did she just fall asleep under? Like, what are you doing? What is this creature doing? And she's stupid. Like, man. It's been a while since we've seen Kanbaru to act like this with Shinobu, but I guess it was kind of like this back in Bake, wasn't it? So, sure. So she has had her own battle against the monkey. The monkey returns, though, which is it's unlucky. Yeah, let's ignore her. Right, right. Hmm. Wearing a raincoat and rubber boots, but it wasn't her. Speaking of the aberration I fought earlier, together with the cat. So with Black Hanakawa, I assume, right? Because we know this is around the time Black Hanakawa was going out at night and running around and blah 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 blah, right? So I guess, right? Was this like because like there's the moment when Black Hanakawa and Shinobu went to the cram school and it was burned down already. So that must have like just happened, right? Because that was the night. that Aragi was meeting Kambru there, and that's why they went there in the first place. Right? Okay, okay, okay. So that's that same night, right? It's not that that really means anything to me, but like, sure, sure, why not? What in the world is going on in this town right now? I mean, literally, right? This is the craziest the town's ever been. The tiger stuff is happening. All this insane first minion stuff is happening. Like, it's yeah. It's crazy. Shinobu's been told about what happened with Hajikuchi and stuff. Oh God. Not by Guy Nizuko. It was not told by her. It was told by Ononoki. I just like, what are we? There's some normal stuff in this episode, huh? It's been on his face the entire time, and I don't know what was Cumber supposed to say. Like, come on, what would There's a footprint on her face. Like, what's he gonna do about it? God. Shinobu doesn't know anything either, I guess, right? Like, I mean, yeah, just kind of like Ononoki showed up and helped them and saved them, and that's about it. And we have no idea what's going on. He says that she probably doesn't know about the armor, about the first minion yet, which, like, yeah, makes sense. He's gonna have to tell her, I suppose. I guess I would assume her behavior, that would kind of be her first priority if she knew the first minion stuff, right? Look at fucking Conqueror over here. Like, at least she knows to stay on the other side of the bars, right? Like, she knows to stay away. Just Jesus Christ. And she was sleeping under the swing for some reason, which apparently there's some deep reason for. Let's talk about that later. I guess I don't really believe you, Shinobu, but sure. And then the crab monkey shows up. Like, what does this mean? What is happening? Like, what is going on with all of this? I just don't know. I don't know. Is it all linked to the first minion somehow? But like, how and why? I guess just like in universe, I just have absolutely no explanation for it. But like thematically, like, it kind of makes sense to me, right? What's up with this arm? Is that just a monkey arm? I guess that's just like the monkey arm. Yeah. This leg looks weird too, doesn't it? I guess just this entire body looks weird. Man, I don't know. I don't know. The way there's like this light behind it, like it's really hard to like look at, that's interesting. That kind of makes sense for Aragi, right? It's something that's hard for him to look at if it's representative of like his regrets, things he feels like are unaddressed in his past. Well, I suppose that's it. I guess that's it. I have so many questions. I have so much stuff I need to like figure out. Like, what is happening in this arc, huh? We normally don't have this many questions, Like, man, no wonder Aragi hid all of this from us. It's too complicated. He didn't want to go through telling it all. It's too much, Like, man. God. Well, I'm real excited. I'm real excited. I'm enjoying this arc quite a bit. It just feels like we're really barely getting started, It's like we barely started with like the actual whatever's actually going to be happening with the characters, what is what I really need to, we're setting stuff up. Obviously, it's very clear that we're doing stuff. I just want to see it. I just want to see it. Okay, well, I suppose that is it. So, if you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, leave a comment, tell me what you think, and I will see you in the next one.